Hello and welcome. I am Giovanni Hall Art. Today we're going to be working on some fan art Pokemon champions. We'll be drawing Kitt. She is the recruiter Pokemon breeder in the game. And I like her character design, so I'm going to be drawing her in my own style. So I'm just going to draw, have some fun with it, and go from there. You can find Instagram, Tumblr, TikTok, Twitch, YouTube, and Patreon for more good stuff. Links are in the bio. Also, I'll be playing a true crime podcast in the background for my YouTube and Twitch viewers. TikTok, sorry, we're working on a way to have audio or something put in the background for you guys. I won't get my video restricted. Alright, let's get into it.
Alright,
let's go.
you nervous? Hey,
Not open this door,
I'm
sir.
out here with Miss Cassandra.
Officers have just arrived at the getaway motel of 28-year-old Cassandra
All right, let's get
Douglas.
into it.
For the last 24 hours, she and her
Quickly,
brother have been on the run
have a
after
quick
3
base
of their
drawing.
family members were found
I re-
dead and
I had an
burned
old drawing
in the
I
desert.
started, but I'm going to change it. I'm going to change proportions and stuff. Just skip the process.
And as these local
goal
officers
today is to
prepare
get
to
the rough
confront the
drawing
primary
done.
suspect of the most important case they've ever worked on, nothing could prepare them for the
change to my
horrifying
brush,
discoveries
while I
they're
use
about
my
to
rough
make.
angle
Call the
brush.
police! Anyone inside, make yourself known!
This is a horrible nightmare.
What are we looking at here? 'Cause
I
we're-
don't know, you tell me.
This is one of the worst things that I've ever had to be involved with.
Now for my brush. Right away, we're doing stuff.
It's a routine Friday afternoon at the Otero County Sheriff's Office when dispatch begins receiving a series of unusual 911 calls from a young man.
Communications.
Hi, good morning. I'm hoping to file a police report, and I might need some assistance doing so.
Okay, and what's your first and last name?
Kane Mays.
Okay, and tell me what's going on.
I've
We're
been
just
living abroad for the
quicker,
past
faster
6
road.
years,
Okay.
and I found out that my father died last year shortly after Christmas. I have recently returned home. I'm living in New Mexico again, and I was hoping to return to the family property. Since his passing, tons and tons of family possessions and property have all gone missing and have either been sold off, lost, or stolen, and I'm looking to reassume possession of the property, but there are people squatting in the house.
Do you know who these people are?
I do. I could give you first and last names, but not anything much else.
Kane goes on to clarify that the squatters inside his deceased father's property are actually family members, mainly his Uncle Victor, who allegedly took over the property and is living there with Kane's grandmother and his stepbrother. He also seemingly claims that his Uncle Victor has sold off
Okay.
valuable assets, including firearms and expensive jewelry belonging to his father. The dispatcher logs the information Kane provides and passes it along for legal follow-up. However, not long after this first contact, on a Monday morning in January 2025, Kane calls again. But this time, it's for something strangely different.
Dispatch.
Hi there. I was calling because I'm wondering what would it take for me to request a wellness check on somebody?
A welfare check on...
My grandmother, Mary Mauser.
Okay. The sergeant is aware. They are on an emergency call right now. As soon as they are done, we'll head up there to do a welfare check.
Okay, excellent. Thank you, miss.
You're welcome.
A couple of hours after Kane requests a welfare check for his grandmother Mary, he calls police again for the third time to share new updates.
To La Rosa Communications, you're on a recorded line. How can I help you?
Hi, my name is Kane. I called earlier regarding wellness.
So, Sergeant Nordquist is going to give you a call back. They have not responded there yet because they've been tied up with a warrant service where the person doesn't want to come out.
No, that's okay. We stopped by on our way down and everything is locked up tight. That's why I was returning your call, because you said if we can, that I should call you back.
All right.
And like if they're tied up with an emergency,
Yes, sir.
we got to worry about the officers and make sure
Yes.
that they're still.
Thank you so much for understanding.
need to be
I will.
back.
Okay, I will let the sergeant know then.
Following this latest call from Kane, the welfare check is officially canceled, and officers are no longer dispatched to the property. At this point, the dispatcher has no reason to suspect anything other than some kind of family dispute, and the situation appears to have resolved itself for now. In reality, something far more calculated is already in motion, and the family involved will soon be implicated in a scheme that will lead detectives down one of the most twisted murder plots they've ever handled. That same Monday, a few hours after Kane's 911 calls, a man arrives at the police station in the afternoon with an oddly timed request.
Hello, sir.
Hey, how you doing?
Doing well. Sergeant Nordquist.
Mike Blitz.
Mike, it's nice to meet you. How can I help you today?
Okay, well, my brother-in-law helps us take care of my mother-in-law.
Okay.
And he normally is very conscientious about showing up when he says he's going to show up and everything.
Yeah.
And we had this, we scheduled him. We've been taking care of my mother-in-law for 7 years.
Okay.
And she's 93 years old. So anyway, we normally communicate quite a bit during the week and stuff,
So, are you wanting to check on him or your mother-in-law?
No, on him.
He lives on Nogal.
Yes.
And somebody had called earlier. We were out busy, but someone had called in for a welfare check, but they canceled us prior to us getting up there because they said whoever it was, and I can go look and find the name, that said that house was locked up tight and that nobody was up there.
The person Sergeant Nordquist is referring to is Mike's nephew-in-law, Kane Mays, and it appears that both Mike and Kane are concerned about family members. Though the family dynamics are becoming tricky to keep up with for the sergeant, Mike is about to make one thing about Kane crystal clear.
Do you know a Kane Mays?
Yeah, I do know. That's part of the problem.
Okay, so what's the problem there?
Okay, well, I think he's trying to keep us from going over the look. The house is owned by his father. Yeah, well, the owner of the house, okay, was Frank Beret, and he's deceased.
Frank is deceased.
Yeah. Victor, his brother, was living with him along with Kane's grandmother and his stepbrother, Killian.
As Mike continues explaining the complex family dynamics to the sergeant, one thing becomes clear. 3 people are missing, all close relatives of Mike and Kane. But before Mike leaves, there's something serious he needs to warn the sergeant about.
I'm going to get one of my deputies and we're going to go out to the address and see what we can see. See if we can find some.
Okay, let me give you some heads up. His dad had a lot of guns, Frank, before he died, and he taught Kane how to shoot. And when Kane came the other day, I didn't finish my story. When I pulled up there, okay, and I hollered out the window for Vic because the gate was closed, right?
Yeah.
Okay. And then a person comes to where I can see about this much of them, right? Up there. And I go, hey, Vic. And he goes, no, it's me, Kane. When he walks down to me, he's packed. He's armed. And I says, well, have you seen Victor? He says, no, nobody's up here.
Okay.
So I think if I were you, I'd go up there with the 2 guys. Because I think he knows how to shoot. I don't know if there were any like rifles and stuff like that where he could be, but anyway, so I had his phone number. But then after I had his phone number, see, he had my phone number, he started texting. Your grandmother's missing, your uncle's missing, your stepbrother's missing, right? And this is what he's talking to me about. He's a pathological liar, man. I think he's up to no good, I really do. You guys gotta be really careful.
He said he just got off the line with Sergeant Nordquist, or North. He never called us. We never contacted him.
It's becoming clear to the sergeant that something is off. Sensing this won't be a routine welfare check, Sergeant Nordquist takes note of Mike's concerns and prepares to head out to the house. What makes this case so unique isn't just the crime scene officers will soon walk into, but the way police have to piece it together, using advanced forensics and strategic elicitation to cut through the lies. And as the investigation unfolds, this will prove to be one of the most resource-intensive cases for everyone involved, with constant pressure, long hours, and difficult decisions at every step. Many of us deal with our own pressures and emotional struggles, and sometimes all it takes is talking to someone to begin working through them. There was a time when I got into a pretty bad argument with a close friend a while back, and it just stuck with me. I kept replaying it, what I said, what they said, whether I was in the wrong, and I didn't really have anyone I could talk to about it without it turning into a whole thing or someone picking sides. I just kept telling myself I'd get over it eventually, but eventually never really came. And at some point, I realized that having someone to talk to who's completely outside of your life, who can just give you a fresh perspective with no bias, makes a huge difference. That's why I've partnered with today's sponsor, BetterHelp. Starting therapy can feel like a huge step, but BetterHelp actually makes it really simple. You take a short quiz, get matched with a licensed therapist, and if it's not the right fit, we can switch anytime at no extra cost. Which I think is huge, because finding the right therapist makes all the difference. And I'm not the only one who thinks so. Over 6 million people have used BetterHelp, earning it a 4.8 out of 5 rating on the App Store. Click the link in the description or go to betterhelp.com/DrInsanity to get 10% off your first month. With that said, let's get back to the investigation. Approximately an hour after talking to Mike, Sergeant Nordquist and a group of officers head to the property to conduct a welfare check. Based on Mike's previous concerns, officers approach the house cautiously in case they encounter Kane.
I got an open door. Sheriff's office! Sheriff's office, if you're in here, make yourself known!
Sorry, let's go redraw this
Sheriff's
here.
office! Stay here with Sarge. Stay here with Sarge.
Fixing up proportions. Got a rough sketch in here. Okay, so we got the neck, the head, there's the shoulders here.
Yeah, I was gonna say everything's stacked and piled.
We're gonna change the proportion.
The doorknob was locked on this?
Oh.
Literally, when I went like that, I was like, the door just kept going. I was like,
That's not looking
by the home's
right.
disarray, officers leave after confirming no one is inside.
Okay, we're gonna redo that
Boxes
again.
stacked throughout the home and both of Victor's cars, the blue and green Subarus missing, officers assume the family may have moved out. In reality, the clutter wasn't accidental. It was intentionally staged to conceal evidence of foul play, and it has done exactly that. None of that is apparent now, so Sergeant Nordquist calls Mike on the phone to update him on the situation. This is where the two men will slowly start to pick up on just how sketchy this whole ordeal is.
Hello, sir. So we went up to that address. So we cleared the residence. There was nobody inside. There's no vehicles matching the descriptions of the Subarus you gave on the property. So, but there was no signs of a struggle, no signs of
Thanks
any
for the
foul
likes,
play
appreciate
that we
that.
could determine. There were some boxes that appeared to be like being
Right now, I'm
packed
just
up,
trying to figure
but
out the
other
pose.
than that's all we got.
The thing is, all three people are missing that were staying there at the house. But definitely the king is the kicker. That he's the one that did all that. He called, got your name, and then he was able to send me that text saying that he spoke to you.
Yeah.
And then he called back later and canceled the deal, right?
Yes, sir. And on the face of it, it looks super sketchy, but there was no indication that we could see of any foul play or
A struggle or anything.
struggle. Yes, sir.
As the sergeant tries to reassure Mike, even he begins to wonder if the scene is hiding more than it appears. A few hours later that afternoon, Nordquist returns to the station and calls Kane, trying to understand why he canceled the welfare check and why, most strangely, no one was inside the house.
Hi, this is Sergeant Holquist at the Sheriff's Office. Is this Mr. Mays?
Yes, sir. How are you?
The reason why I'm calling is in regards... earlier this morning, you had contacted our office to do a welfare check on a family member.
That's correct.
Who is that family member to you?
It's my grandmother.
Your grandmother? Who lives up there with your grandmother at the 121 No-Go?
That would be an uncle of mine and my brother.
Do you have any information on them attempting to move anywhere?
I was told that my brother and my grandmother are planning to move soon.
So the reason why I'm calling is we went up to that address because Mr. Bleddy stopped by.
Yeah, he was the one who recommended that we give you guys a call. He seemed pretty upset. He was looking for Vic.
So we went inside the residence to make sure that nobody was hurt or injured. Nothing was broken into. We didn't see any signs of struggle or any signs of
those
foul
likes
play.
do?
Did
The
you
likes?
text,
The likes just
Mr.
help
Bleddy at all today?
promote the...
We stopped by.
What do you call it?
And I had given you guys a call.
Promotes the live in the drawing.
Who told you that
Promotes the
everything was
live. So if it gets more likes, like put on the
Because
For You page,
information
I
that I
guess.
got was that
My
you called
understanding.
back and said you went up there and everything was okay.
You're doing your Pokemon training? Yes,
Now,
I'm
what
doing the
was in that
Pokemon
text
training.
message to Mr. Bloody? That's what I'm confused with.
I'm just rough sketching it out right now. Trying to figure it out.
The dispatch officer said that you were tied up with.
So bear with me, it's a little
it
rough.
sounded like a pretty hostile
This
situation.
is my
The
drawing
way the text
process.
message reads was that you had made contact with me, and I know for sure, and you know for sure.
I'm gonna
that
make it
that
kind
didn't
of
happen,
wide
so that
hip
way it
a little
looked kind
bit.
of weird.
Naturally, Nordquist doesn't know what to make of Kane's message to Mike, in which he seems to falsely claim to have spoken with the sergeant. Suspecting Kane is hiding something, Nordquist ends the call and immediately requests a search warrant for a second search of the house. While they wait for the warrant to be processed, all police can do now is hope the missing trio turns up safe. A hope that is far removed from the gruesome reality.
Right now, I'm just trying to figure out how to do the legs right now.
Early on a Wednesday morning that week, around 10 a.m.,
I want to have the legs kind of bowed in a little bit.
200 yards from the house where the trio vanished.
You want to make them more wide? Yeah, she's gonna have like wider hips.
911, where's your emergency?
Yeah, I kind of have the legs kind of like bowing in and out, like kind of hard to describe. You'll see.
2 minutes ago.
We drove down the road to see if we could get a better view of the.
I'm not sure what I'm gonna do. I think I want to have her hold her pitchfork.
Well, we have already toned out the fire department, so we will
I'm not
get
sure.
units,
I'm just figuring out the posing right now.
they can locate.
Yeah.
Okay.
I sit at the top
This is the far part of drawing.
that road for a second.
Figuring out the posing we want to do.
We'll let them know.
Okay.
Shortly after the call, two deputies are
I
dispatched
kind of want to have
to
like in a
investigate the
stance,
fire.
you know, like
Once they arrive
knees are
at
kind
the
of close together. Knees
location,
are,
one of them spots something
I can
disturbing
explain.
in the distance. A burned, flipped-over vehicle matching one of Victor's missing cars.
We got tire tracks towards the direction I walked. Just follow the path.
She's gonna be wearing her boots. That will be like
I got the
that a little
vehicle.
bit.
It's smoking. I got a couple sets of shoe impressions, tire tracks, all that. 99% sure there was a page and a
That'll come down here.
in here in this vehicle.
Then the feet will turn in. But she's gonna be wearing her cowboy boots.
Look right in here. That looks like a human, dude.
Nah, that's not looking right.
These things are hot.
Yeah.
Alive.
Hopefully Slater's and his team's on the way.
As officers look inside the car, they can see what appears to be the burned remains of three people, too badly damaged by the fire to identify them at the scene. Suspecting a homicide, they call in Sergeant Nordquist, and it wouldn't take long for him to connect the dots.
This might be a Subaru. It's a vehicle that they haven't accounted for yet. Look right here.
Oh, for sure.
You see it?
It's like, do you see a soul anywhere?
Been looking in here. Just given the circumstances, this actually might be one of the missing people.
What's that right there?
I was looking at that too.
Oh, yeah.
That's a skull cap right there.
Yep.
By one of our missing people with the missing vehicle.
From up here?
Huh?
From up here?
Yeah, I guess Brad, he suspects some guy named Kane killed most of his relatives that live here. And
That
this
is
vehicle, I
crazy.
think it's a Subaru. Looks
Yeah.
like
This
it.
is really fresh.
Thanks for the likes. Appreciate that.
There's more over here.
He had to have put it out
fresh.
himself, because it would have caught this whole place on fire.
What officers are beginning to suspect is horrifying. Not only do the burned remains likely belong to the three missing individuals, but given how recent the fire is, the person responsible may have burned the bodies just hours ago and could still be within reach of police. So, once the scene is secured and the bodies are sent for autopsy, a nationwide BOLO is issued for Kane Mays. Although police now believe they know what happened and who's responsible, they
Got her
have
boots
no idea
there,
just
real
how
quick.
far beyond Kane this plot goes. There are more players
She
involved,
has
more targets, and a multi-state
like
homicide
those-
case that will exhaust every resource police
her
have.
shorts.
We gotta find him. We're afraid of him.
There was
Like-
one time I should have died. Probably should be
Then
dead
she has her
twice.
belt.
And he was so aggressive. I thought we were gonna die. I thought he was gonna shoot us on the property.
Her
More than
belt.
24 hours after the fire,
Goes on her
officers
hip,
remain
kinda like
unable
that.
to find or contact Kane, raising concerns that he may be on the run.
Just
This
overalls
is when
on,
the initial
okay.
autopsy results come in,
So-
confirming what officers had feared all along. The burned victims are Kane's close relatives. His uncle, Victor Perea, his grandmother, Mary Mouser, and his stepbrother, Killian Mays. Beyond confirming their identities, the autopsy offers little actionable insight. At least one victim
was
had a
rough in the
confirmed gunshot
sketch
wound to
out
the head, but the
pose.
other remains were too severely burned to identify all injuries. Investigators surmised that the victims were likely incapacitated well before the fire was set. Following these horrific findings, they begin digging deeper into
Let's just
their
save our
main
work here.
suspect's background. It turns out Kane Mays had been living in Canada and working as an engineer until just a few months earlier, and had several documented domestic incidents involving his wife.
Alright, we're just
Hoping she
posing
may
it
know
out.
where her husband
And what if
is,
there are,
officers
what we're gonna do with
reach
the
out to Kane's
hands?
wife on the phone, where they'll
We're
find
gonna
out
give
she
her a
might know
pitchfork.
far more than that.
Hello, my name's Justin Mitchell. I'm a detective with the Otero County
Oh,
Sheriff's
hold
Office
on.
in New Mexico. Are you
We're just
Samantha?
posing it out right now.
Receive a call from you at some point since I did give you guys a call.
Yes, ma'am. You want to
Super
tell me
rough.
from the beginning, like how you met him
Proportions will
and
be adjusted, but we have our hat.
I've actually been speaking to the Ontario Provincial Police because
We have our
I thought he was
hat.
messing with me, like I had mentioned. So I'm also filing a case against him right now, but because it's Canadian and now he's in America, who knows if that's gonna. But he was physically violent with me. And I had
Her
evidence of it.
hat.
Yeah, we just met playing video games online, and we started an online relationship. And for a few years, it was just basically we would talk. And then one day, he calls me up and he says that his father disowned him, and he needs to move here right away. He'd always been verbally towards me, and just in general, he had a weird attitude towards things. Eventually we moved out. Brace yourself for this one, because I feel that I didn't come forward, told people that he had beaten me, and now this has happened. I'm gonna be honest with you. Like, we both had an alcohol problem, but I never
Oh,
drank before
thank
I met
you.
him.
Thank you very much, guys. Appreciate that.
That on me, and he pressured me to drink a lot. Like, there was always a pressure. He wanted me to do it. He just did start hitting me. He did start getting violent with me. Probably
This
should
guy
be
sounds
dead
like a
twice.
monster. Sorry for those who are on TikTok.
short of
You can't hear the
But even
YouTube video I'm
worse, she
watching.
would share a terrifying recording with detectives,
Yeah, look at the
captured
face
during
in
one
there.
of the numerous domestic incidents
Oh.
involving Kane.
You just let me go.
They have the hair, the ponytails.
I'll let you go. Hey, don't put you down.
Please stop.
Is this your neck? Is this your neck?
The rest of this recording is too disturbing to play on YouTube, but it clearly documents an alleged serious domestic violence incident involving Kane. Investigators now know they must act quickly, as more people, including Samantha, could be in immediate danger. So later that day, after securing a
I'm
permit for
liking
the
that.
earlier
Okay, what do we
search
do with the
warrant,
hands now?
police return to the victim's house, but this time they bring specialized chemicals.
Okay,
called
out of here. Oh,
Blue
hey,
Star,
welcome.
used to hunt for
Out of the
hidden
box.
blood, bullets, and
How are you?
evidence that may have been cleaned up.
Alright, we're gonna save
And
here
what
real
they're
quick.
about to uncover would reveal just how many crucial clues officers had missed during the initial search. Inside the kitchen, detectives spot one of 3 spent
We're gonna do a
22
backup
caliber
save
shell
here.
casings, along with a live 22 round. Using Blue Star, they
Always
also
save
detect
your work.
high-velocity blood spatter throughout the home. As the search continues,
I want to
investigators
figure out what we're
notice
gonna do with
clear
this
attempts to clean up
pose.
the scene.
What we're doing
And
with the hair.
given
I like the lights.
precision and
Lights are
speed
good.
with which the bodies
Roughed
were
out.
disposed of, they begin to suspect a grim possibility.
I needed to change?
This was not the work of a single perpetrator. But then
We're still here.
officers
I'm just
find
looking for
something
reference.
Very strange. Condoms and pregnancy tests stored with cleaning
Why would I do the
supplies near the
hands?
well house and septic area. Following these disturbing findings, police would continue searching the property and contacting Kane's relatives.
Should we do cross
worried he
arms?
may already
No.
be far away, possibly even on his way back to Canada. A few days later, as detectives continue searching for leads on Kane, they decide to pay Mike and his wife, Lourdes Blett, a visit. Just like Kane, Lourdes also has personal ties to all 3 victims. Victor Perea was her brother, Killian Mays was her grandnephew, and Mary Mouser was her brother's partner. But before investigators can hope to learn anything about
Did we ever
Kane's
do like a
whereabouts
high pose,
or
like,
possible
hi?
accomplices, they must first
do
deliver
that
the
then.
tragic news to the couple.
Okay. I have an idea.
Got a nice name.
So we're gonna have a hand here.
Hi, Lourdes. How are you? Detective, how are you? What's your first name? Bobby.
Hi,
This is
I'm
Ashley.
Ashley, I'm
Nice to
Rose.
Do you mind if I sit down?
Well, I would like to give you guys a little bit of information. As I told you yesterday, do want to let you know that there was a vehicle fire that was in close proximity to the house. There were 3 subjects that were not able to be identified that were inside of that vehicle. I cannot tell you who those subjects are.
On the property? In the Subaru? Or that?
I can't tell you what vehicle it was for sure right now. Again,
So you already know there are
cannot,
people?
I can't
But you
tell
know
you
there's
who
3
they are.
people?
Yes. I'm really sorry that I even have to share this information with you.
This is a horrible nightmare. I mean, it's horrendous.
I agree with you 100%.
So, question: would you be up for art trade?
One of the worst
Or art
things
trade?
that I've ever had to be involved with.
Like art trade, like I kind of know where this. Can you explain it again? Is that like where I draw something, and you finish it or something like
She
that?
fears whoever is responsible
Sounds interesting.
may not be done yet.
He's a psychopath. He's a psychopath. Kane, I didn't want to say that. I didn't want to drop him in the doodle, but he's crazy. You gotta find him. We're afraid of him. He hasn't even asked how my mother is, and that's his blood grandmother.
We're working.
Oh my God! How can it be? Michael, how can it be?
This is terrible. Okay.
We hoped for better.
So, question:
It's not even imagination.
We are working on so many different leads right now and trying to connect everybody.
Just catch him. So everybody will be safe because he's crazy.
In my worst imagination, I thought I didn't know how to tell you guys this, but I was going to say, can you look for the infrared and see if there's any graves on the property? That's what I was going to tell y'all. You know how they can tell
That's what's been
something had
sitting
been
with
burned.
you.
And this has got to be the worst crime
This
of the
is-
year in New
this is
Mexico. I
part
mean,
of-
I haven't heard anything this horrendous on the news lately.
Yet.
Indeed, this kind of killing doesn't happen every day. But investigators are about to hear another person of interest from the couple, someone who may know more about where Kane is.
So in our job, you will hear law enforcement say a lot. You know, it's what you know and what you can prove. And right now, we're working on collecting the information so we can prove what we believe we know.
Where do hands on the hips?
We don't know what he did all those years. Wherever he was, what did he do? Who did he know?
And
What
we're
was his?
also working on.
We have no idea.
I would even be
We're gonna tilt that
worried
bad.
about his sister, Beck and Ross, so-called
that's-
stepsister, you know? That one text he sent me about working with the, over in Roswell or whatever he said.
Yeah, he was saying something about helping out his sister with her crazy ex.
Crazy ex, yeah.
Something like that you had shown
Yes,
me.
I think it was a relationship. I kind of remember that at the beginning, that she wasn't with that guy anymore because of that.
Was
Like
that?
I was supposed to feel sorry for her. I mean, when they first were like chit-chatting and everything.
Oh, in the
like,
conversation,
"Hey,
okay. She's talking about the
Yeah, I
Thanksgiving
think
Day
that
call.
they said something about that.
Mike would go on to identify the woman in question as 28-year-old Cassandra Douglas, Kane's half-sister. And based on his concerns and the evidence from the home search suggesting at least 2 people were likely involved in the cover-up, detectives
We're
begin
gonna
to
merge
wonder
this
if
layers down, so I'm
Cassandra
gonna
is
draw
the
over
next
this.
key piece to the puzzle. So with this new lead, the interview concludes, and investigators
So
shift their
rough.
focus to Cassandra and her potential connections to the homicide. Coincidentally, as investigators
that
prepare to call
passy
Cassandra
down.
the next day, she reaches out to them instead with a very peculiar 911 call.
Or increase the
Is there any
size.
way that you would mind putting in a welfare check on my brother, Kane Mays?
What's the address?
He told me that he was going to 680 Cox Canyon, Cloud Croft, New Mexico.
680 Cox Canyon?
Yes, ma'am. He was supposed to meet up
Look
with
at
our
a little-
uncle and told me that if he didn't come back last night, and definitely if he didn't come back in the morning, that I needed to call you guys. He's been part of a missing persons thing, and Mike has been acting very aggressive and hostile towards us.
Not only is Cassandra claiming her brother Kane is also missing, but she's suggesting that her uncle Mike might have something to do with it. Once investigators catch wind of this 911 call, they immediately sense something is off. The timing is highly suspicious, almost as if it's part of a plan to deflect suspicion away from Kane. So later that day, officers are sent to her address with one goal in mind: assess the situation and determine whether her claims hold any weight or if it's just an attempt to mislead the investigation.
Alright, sorry about that, guys.
Hello.
Hi.
Are you Candace?
I'm still trying to figure out the posing.
Candace is across the street.
Okay, are you Cassandra?
I'm trying to break it up so it's not so
So my name's
symmetrical.
Ryan, Poston Reader.
Hi.
I'm a detective.
Okay, sorry.
with the Riodoso
And we
Police
trade. So basically, you make
have
an
a second
art,
to
and I
talk to me?
make you an art, and we trade. Okay.
So, did you make a 911 call?
That sounds
for a
interesting. So
welfare
how would we
check?
trade? Just like on
For
social
Kane.
media or something?
Yeah. That was you that made that call.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Have you heard from Kane?
I have not.
No, you still haven't heard from him?
I have not.
How do you know Kane?
He's my brother.
It's your
Or
brother.
my half brother.
And when was the last time you heard from him?
He was supposed to go up to meet with Mike, I think on the 21st. He told me that if he didn't show up by the morning of the 22nd, that I needed to file a missing persons report because I already have 3 family members missing. Killian and Mary were supposed to go up to Albuquerque. I haven't seen those 2 alive since 11/23. Give me just a second.
Okay.
Officers have no clue at this point, but Cassandra isn't alone. Right this moment, their prime suspect, Kane Mays, is hiding inside the very house they're standing in front of.
Sorry, we're also having issues with a psychotic ex of mine. So
Oh, jeez. You're going through a lot right now.
a little bit. And then with Kane going missing and Mike presumably having like over half of his guns. It's a really, really long story.
Okay.
And not one that I'm 100% familiar with because Kane just came back into my life September of last year. So like, I wish I had all my facts straight.
I completely understand. No big deal. How did they come into your life?
But through Kane.
I mean, I could
Kane
DM
came into your
you
life,
in
and
Blue
then
Sky if
now
you have a
meet
character in
Mary
mind.
and kill
I can draw for you.
Okay.
Okay.
And then now all of them are missing.
Blue Sky, sure.
Did you ever have?
You can find Blue Sky. Like, send me a message, and we can talk details later. But I'm just gonna finish up the stream. But sure, we can like send me a DM in Blue Sky, and we'll talk from there. That was interesting.
Suggesting that officers should focus on Mike, implying he may be involved in the disappearances. Officers take note of her statements and ask her to give them a call if
She
Kane
wears
shows
gloves,
up
right?
again.
Yeah, she
Their
does
goal
wear gloves.
remains unclear, but now that they have a story,
We're gonna do a
they
hand
can
on the
start
hip
verifying.
kind of pose thing here.
So a few hours later, as police continue
Right, this
looking
is
for
rough,
Kane,
guys.
an officer decides to stop by the neighborhood again and speak
hand
with
is really
Cassandra's neighbors
thick.
to see if they've heard or seen anything.
That
According
one
to
arm
them,
is really long. I
Cassandra
gotta fix that.
hasn't been living alone. A man with long dark hair has been staying with her for the past
I don't
few
like that.
months.
We're gonna fix
Additionally,
that
witnesses
up right
report seeing
now.
the same man driving Victor's missing green Subaru, and that it was also seen parked outside Cassandra's residence multiple times. Realizing the description of the man matches Kane, officers return to the station to dig deeper into Cassandra's
Now let's
earlier
fix that
claims,
arm.
where they will very quickly uncover some major
That'll be the
contradictions.
shoulder.
Even though Cassandra insisted she had only recently met Kane, investigators discover an older Facebook photo of the two together, proof they've known each other for years. But that's just the first lie, because officers who were out looking for Kane also recover surveillance footage from a nearby Walmart, showing Kane and Cassandra shopping together alongside her sons and daughter. Besides buying groceries and food, investigators spot cleaning supplies like bleach
I'm gonna give
and
you some
vinegar, along
advice
with
for people out
multiple
there.
bottles of kerosene,
Those who can hear the
items that
video I'm
closely
watching.
align with what would be needed to
If someone you're
prevent a
interested
violent
in
crime
or you're
and
seeing
start a
that's gonna
fire.
lie
At this point, investigators are unsure if
and not
Cassandra
telling you
is
why to
actively
lie,
hiding a
don't
wanted
do it.
fugitive, or if
Because
she's
they're
being
setting you
controlled
up. If they
and
actually care
forced to
about you, they
cooperate
won't
with
put you in a
someone who has
compromising
already
position
killed 3
with the
members of
police.
her own family.
Alright, you'll DM
With
me?
suspicion mounting,
Okay, cool.
detectives obtain a search warrant for Cassandra's house. Then, around 8 p.m. that night, a group of officers return to the property, taking up positions outside the house as they prepare to raid it.
Occupants of 7 Morningside. This is the Roswell Police Department. Exit the front door with your hands up. Do it now.
Alright, let's redraw that hand. I didn't like that. So hands on the hip.
You got a shield?
That's not looking right.
Roswell police, search warrant! I guess we're just going to boot this thing.
Hands on the hip there. We'll fix that after.
One more. Roswell police, anyone inside, make yourself known! Alright, we're gonna pull in. I'm gonna take left. Ready?
Right. And then our next arm.
Small room. Got another door here.
Ready?
Yep.
I'm gonna go. I got a hallway with looks like the refrigerator kitchen.
Three on me.
Actually, do we want her to have her staff? Yeah, we want her to have her staff, actually.
And Cassandra Jolly's the one that lives here, huh?
Hey, we're gonna change that up again, guys.
I
I'm
got some
sorry.
Amarte stuff right here.
I'm trying to figure out the cozy.
There's a. See that?
Yeah, we're giving her staff, but she needs to have her pitchfork. We're gonna do that instead.
Right.
Clear. That arm is way too long.
Something weird.
Been hanging out because there's that monitor for the.
This is the fun part of drawing, guys. Figuring out the pose.
Fucking terrorist watch.
Did you remember what those cigarette packs were?
I had a Marlboro and then I had a. Yeah, I saw that one in the closet.
Another one. Your big cans are all in this room. Your Red Bull cans.
Inside, something about the house immediately feels off to the officers as they observe unusual posters, graffiti, and other unsettling details scattered throughout. They then make their way into the bathroom, where one officer recalls hearing that something might be hidden underneath the house.
I highly doubt, but. The door was open? No, we opened it. I'm sure this is what he was referring to.
Like under all this?
That's what he said. The neighbor across the street said that he used to live here, and then there's a door underneath the washer and dryer. At least the basement. Because didn't they say there was another secret exit or something here?
There's a couple windows. What do they go to?
They're filled in. They look up there already or no?
Alright.
Go ahead.
Her staff.
Yeah, I'll hold it.
This is a really rough staff. So don't mind
Oh,
it.
that'll fit.
Just a placeholder for now.
That. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Oh yeah. That's too new. Really baby. Mm-hmm. Oh.
Just a placeholder.
It's kind of weird to have a door right there too, huh?
At the center of the basement sits a plastic storage tote, toolbox, duffel bags, and other various items. Officers notice there's no dust on
arm's
the
really
items,
long.
and
Thanks for the
whoever
likes,
left them
appreciate that, Truth.
behind was in a hurry, possibly trying to leave unnoticed. Beyond the basement, police would go on to find something highly suspicious: documents belonging to one of the victims, alongside paperwork linked to Kane's father and live .22 caliber ammunition. Following these discoveries, investigators secure the scene
Let's
and begin
save
working to
our
obtain a
work here.
real-time location warrant for Cassandra's phone. With their suspicions growing that Cassandra fled with Kane, officers know they need to locate them quickly before they vanish, potentially escaping to Canada. 12 hours later, investigators strike gold. The warrant for Cassandra's phone is successfully approved, and in a major development, Verizon pings Cassandra's phone nearly 1,000 miles away. She's no longer in New Mexico, but in Hernando, Mississippi, inside a Super 8 motel. With this discovery, the case becomes multi-state, with police in Mississippi quickly briefed on the investigation. Officers are then dispatched to locate Cassandra. This is the final phase in the case, and what happens next will determine whether police get the critical answers they need or lose the lead entirely. As officers make their way to the Super 8 motel, their primary objectives are to extract information about Kane's whereabouts, test Cassandra's statements, and determine how deeply she may have been involved in the homicide of her own relatives. When officers finally arrive at the motel, something immediately feels off.
Miss who?
Miss John. Or actually, technically I'm Douglas, because I still have my ex's last name.
So, what's going on? What are we looking at here?
I don't know. You tell me. All I know is that my brother went missing on the 21st. We were trying to investigate his property. We thought Mary and Killian had left, and then Mike came down and started being aggressive and hateful and shooting rounds. And we've already tried to file this with the Roswell Police Department down in New Mexico.
Would you consent to a search of your vehicle?
You can search the car and you can search the room. I don't care.
Okay.
Interestingly, Cassandra now seems on the verge of an emotional breakdown for reasons the officers are yet to understand. After all, only 24 hours have passed, and seemingly no new information has been relayed to her. Neither news of the murder, nor that Kane is the main suspect, nor that her house was just searched. So to get to the bottom of her emotional reaction, Mississippi officers on scene coordinate a call with Special Agent Kyle Graham in New Mexico, who's been tracking the growing list of contradictions in Cassandra's statements. Using those inconsistencies, the detective is about to carefully test Cassandra's story and see how far she cracks.
Do you mind grabbing those, taking your waffles upstairs?
I'm not upstairs, I'm downstairs.
Downstairs?
Yeah.
Yeah.
104.
You spoke with detectives 2 days ago at your house in Roswell, correct?
Yeah. The day the Walter showed up and I had to leave, so I brought them over here to Mississippi. Why is that anything wrong?
No, there's nothing wrong with that. What we're trying to do is we're trying to figure out what's going on with Kane and what's going on with his family.
I don't know. I haven't even, I just met Killian and my grandmother for the first time in my entire life in November.
So were they there whenever you guys were there?
No,
Where were they at?
I don't know. The house was empty and there were boxes in the middle of the living room. That was his dad's property. He was supposed to go to him afterwards, but he wasn't here. He had to go up to Canada.
And so who was driving in the dead house? Like who could drive a car?
They all could. I know that they had that little blue car.
And who was driving the green car?
That I don't know. As far as I know, that car's not drivable.
Well, we have video of Kane driving the green Subaru.
Huh.
And we have information from the neighbors that the green Subaru was at your house at one point in time. This is what I want, okay? I just want honesty. Okay, I know you know a little bit more than what you're telling me. I don't know if you're trying to protect Kane or if you're scared.
I'm scared because I don't know what's going on.
Okay, well, we've been working this case for 3 days straight. And I know a lot more information than I'm telling you.
Of course
I'm trying
you
to see if you're going to be honest with me.
With every sentence, the detective becomes more convinced that Cassandra is hiding something she fears could incriminate her brother or even herself. But there is something a lot more concrete detectives previously uncovered, and the detective is about to leverage it to completely trap Cassandra.
Are you aware that Kane made a police report whenever he got to the house originally, the very first time, about people squatting in his father's house?
Yeah, because they weren't supposed to be there. They hadn't paid any of the mortgage on it. We found documents showing that they were still using Frank's credit cards, and Frank has been dead, and that all of the bills were still in Frank's name, and they were still using that. And so I told them that that was illegal.
And he needed to make a police report because you can't be using, don't stick that in my face, honey. That's like identity theft.
Is it true that Kane didn't even know his dad died?
Yeah. He didn't know that his dad died until he came back to States. He found his obituary. He found his obituary shortly before on the internet. That's how he figured it out.
So almost a year later, he finds out his dad died.
And I know that he's upset about that. But that's not enough reason to kill somebody. I didn't do that.
So then what? So did he kill somebody?
No. I don't understand what you're trying to accuse him of.
Well, that didn't sound very convincing.
I don't know what he's trying to accuse him of.
He's asking a question. That doesn't sound convincing either.
Sure enough, that doesn't sound too convincing to the detective, because Cassandra has seemingly slipped up. At this point, no one had told her that the missing family members were dead or that Kane was suspected of killing them. Realizing her mistake, Cassandra quickly starts backpedaling to regain control of the narrative.
You got anything else, Cassandra, that you want to tell me?
Do you really think Kane killed them? Or hurt them?
I'm pretty concerned. I mean, I don't think 3 people just vanish off the face of the earth, especially when 2 of them are elderly. And then Kane just comes in from Canada and all hell breaks loose. That's kind of suspicious to me.
God, I'm so stupid. I wouldn't even think to put 2 and 2 together like that. But Mike was so f***ing scary when he came down. And he was so aggressive. And I thought we were gonna die. I thought he was gonna shoot us on the property.
Well, you didn't even see that he had a gun.
Kane told me that he had one. And he was mad enough. Oh my God, he was so mad.
As a last-ditch effort, Cassandra goes back to accusing Mike of being responsible for the disappearances. But in fact, officers in New Mexico have already quietly debunked that claim, information they are holding back for the right time and place. Before leaving, they also check Cassandra's car, where they find belongings hastily packed up. But Cassandra explains this as a desperate attempt to run away from her abusive ex-boyfriend. So shortly afterwards, the officers wrap up their visit. But in doing so, they've proven something crucial. They can find Cassandra whenever they want, something she clearly didn't anticipate. It seems as though the confrontation went nearly perfectly for the detectives, but Cassandra has a crucial secret that had went unnoticed at the motel. Kane had traveled to Mississippi alongside her, was staying nearby, and had successfully hidden from officers, marking yet another moment where she misleads police about his whereabouts. So less than an hour after police leave the motel, the two would begin plotting, coming up with a plan they think will get them out of this gruesome mass murder. At 2 p.m., Cassandra's vehicle is seen in front of the Hernando Police Department. Kane would step out and calmly walk into the station.
Alright, I'm liking this
15
posting
minutes
so
later,
far.
Kane would be seated in the department's interview room 2, alongside Detective Stovall. The sudden appearance of Kane would leave detectives with little room to prepare, so Special Agent Silva, a New Mexico detective already working this case, would be placed on call to assist in the interview. It's important to note that this is an interview and not an interrogation, as Kane has agreed to speak voluntarily and has not been detained. In reality, this interview can only work against him, but in his mind, this is both his and Cassandra's final chance at freedom. Agent Silva would begin the interview by making this crystal clear.
And before we get any further, I do want to let you know that you are not under Miranda rights. You are not anything like that. You are free to leave at any point. You don't have to answer any of my questions, anything like that. You can say, hey, I don't want to answer that question. If you don't want to, we can go over another question and we can skip to the next one. But I do want to let you know that you are free to leave, okay? Thank you, sir. All right.
After realizing he's free to walk out at any time, Kane shifts tactics. He begins probing the detective for information, trying to figure out how much investigators have bought into the false narrative he's been intentionally feeding them.
Can I ask you something? It's, on one hand, kind of nice to talk to somebody from Otero. Also, maybe a little concerning
Did we have to speak directly because I'm considered a missing person?
Well, that's what I wanted to talk to you about. Is there's so many like missing persons. There's a lot of phone calls to the sheriff's office. So, like, why would somebody be saying that you're missing? And then there's also some other missing reports going on. Like, there's a lot of firearms missing, right? There's
Yes,
a lot
sir.
of vehicles missing. I want to talk to you and get your side of the story of what's going on.
I was trying to come in and speak with somebody in person.
And what happened with that?
On my way down to Alamogordo, I gave another uncle a phone call because I had seen him on the property and he was a very looming presence at the time. I was hoping to stop in and ask him about some things and some personal aspects that were going on. I wound up getting run off the property and had to kind of go into hiding because I know his influence and the extent of his company.
Okay, well, which uncle is that?
Mike Blett.
So Mike ran you off the property. You had questions for him. Is that what I'm understanding?
Yes, sir.
So when did this happen?
It was when I was on my way down on the 21st. I kind of explained the situation to my sister a little bit, and I told her, if you don't hear from me, call somebody.
I know I keep jumping around and just trying to confirm everything. You went to Mike's house to talk to him and he shot at you, correct?
Yes, sir.
Because I want to talk to Mike about that. Like, why are you shooting at people through front doors? That's kind of dangerous.
That was this week. That was on the 21st. I would absolutely appreciate you taking a look.
Kane makes his alibi clear. Mike, the man who kicked the entire investigation off in the first place, is the suspect detectives need to be focusing on, alleging he shot at them through the front door when they approached the home. Unfortunately, detectives have spent far more time investigating than Kane realizes, allowing Agent Silva to completely debunk Kane's story. Simply put, there are no bullet holes or any signs of a shooting on the property.
Okay. So here's the thing, Kane, is I'm gonna start going through some of your story here. Okay, that's not making sense to me. I'm not saying that you're lying. I'm just saying I don't think it's fully there yet. If that makes sense.
It was kind of cut off.
Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
You went to Mike's house. Mike shot at you this week through the front door. You announced yourself. How come you didn't call 911?
I know that they very much do not take too kindly to law enforcement.
Okay.
And I kind of really hope for that to be avoided.
So here's the thing on that, is I have some investigators that are there at Mike's house, that have been to at Mike's house. There are no bullet holes through his front door. There are no bullet holes through the siding. They're not seeing you on his cameras at his house. So that's what I'm saying, is some of it's not making sense. So did you actually go to Mike's house and knock on the door?
I did.
Because you're not on camera.
Did they check?
And his cameras go back this week. They go back last week. I'm not
We'll try and
seeing you anywhere
reposition
on
this in a little bit.
We had a ton of different game cams that are all on their SD cards. He doesn't have any of the chips from the 21st?
No, I'm saying he has video surveillance of this week and of last week. But they are not seeing you anywhere on the cameras.
Kane appears shocked by these details. Whatever he thought happened that could favor his story simply didn't. Kane would sit in silence for an extended period of time, seemingly in denial that his plan was so terribly miscalculated.
If they still have the footage, they should totally show me pulling up. I parked along the mailbox.
I want to put belt to the hips.
Kind of behind it a bit, not necessarily pulled up past it. Walked right up the drive up to It's kind of tucked in between the slope on the hill, and then it goes
It's a
into the
little
house where the
connected, so it's
stone
not
steps
too
are.
stiff.
That metal storm door.
And it adds a little bit more to it, you know what I mean?
I'm just
It's
trying
like,
to give
hey,
you
she's
a
leaning into the high.
path so that you can
This is
see.
my super rough posing, so
And that
bear with
was
me, guys.
early
Like,
afternoon.
hey,
I
what's
got
up,
there
guys? I think that adds more to it since it's having straight dead on.
between 1 and 3 o'clock. I believe
It's
it
like
was.
really leaning into it.
I have to look at the oh, but I don't have it.
I want to make sure these legs are lined up too.
But if they have that footage still, then I'm definitely on it.
Kane proceeds to give a nearly 10-minute explanation of where he was parked. Unnecessarily complex explanations like these are usually a telltale sign to the detectives that the suspect has shifted into a defensive state, looking for any validation that the detective is believing their lies. Agent Silva takes note of this and begins leaning deeper, this time pressing Kane on his sister Cassandra and
Have a
her
little bit of
potential
pose in
involvement.
there.
Previously, police recovered and documented strange items during the home's crime scene search, and it's still unclear why they were there. Silva plans to use these details to force Kane into defending Cassandra's innocence, a tactic that will create a contradicting story compared to what Cassandra told officers just hours prior.
So, are you aware that we spoke to Cassandra's?
Yes, sir.
And the reason I ask is I'm just trying to get, like, if something happened up there, Kane, I want to know, like, was there an argument going on? Because I know that you were up there in January. Okay, we can kind of get away from that. You were up there in January. If something happened up there, I want to know what happened. Okay, if there was an argument, if something happened, like, kind of help me help you. Okay, what happened when you were up there in January of this year?
I'm trying to figure out everything that has happened as well. That's part of why I wanted to speak with you guys and kind of get you involved in looking.
Because I'm gonna be honest with you, I'm confused on these timelines. You were up there this week at some point, and you were up there last week at some point.
What
So what happened this week and last week while you were up there with the family? That's what I want to know.
They weren't there. Nothing's happened.
You were at the house in Bent on the 18th of January, correct?
I'm not sure.
And the reason I ask is because Cassie has been in contact, and she showed us a screenshot January 18th at 3:57. It's between you and her that says, "Wait quietly and safe. Wait for me."
That's actually something that I was gonna try to find.
And it says, I believe this is from you or from her.
That's the text that says "wait for me" and that says "I'm safe."
I'm sorry?
Those are the texts that say to wait and that I'm safe.
It says, "I'm safe, wait for me," and then there's a response that says, "Gotcha, I have eyes on the front, so far so good." What is that?
That's the day that Mike came up to bed.
Okay.
At this point, Kane must be starting to realize Cassandra may not have been on his side as much as he had thought. Not only are the police beginning to take a clear side, but his only teammate might be against him as well, perhaps explaining why she dropped him off at the police station. Note that Kane at this point can avoid any question he wants, and more importantly, can leave whenever he wants. Even Agent Silva decides to take a brief step away from the phone, but Kane would stay, instead letting the officer in the room in on what's going through his mind.
Between you, me, and the walls, I really think someone is trying to pin years worth of shit on me. Because I came back home at the wrong time and interrupted something.
I'm just here helping these guys. what you really got going on. But that's why I ask him the questions. I'm just sitting here.
Mr. Silva seems like a trustworthy detective. I used to joke, though, and I always say I make a great scapegoat. I'm kind of hoping it's not the case this time. I came here today to ask you guys for help and talk to people that I knew wouldn't be necessarily under an outside influence.
Right. But do you see how it looks for us? I mean, they've shown physical evidence of this whole situation.
Also, she has a belt on.
You're one day you're here in Mississippi, no ties to Mississippi at all. Like, you have no family here.
No, sir.
You have nothing here.
No, sir. My family died, man.
If I was in that seat, and a detective 13 hours away on a cell phone call told me that who are they to you?
My brother, my grandmother, and my uncle.
Your brother, your grandmother, your uncle. If somebody called me and said, not only was my brother killed, but also your grandmother and your uncle were killed. If somebody told me that over the phone, you know what I would be doing?
I think I did.
Do you know what I would be doing? I wouldn't be sitting there staring at a wall. I'd be bawling my eyes out. I'd be throwing the water bottle across the room. I'd probably rip this table out of the wall.
Yeah, but then you guys just rush in here and...
But I wouldn't give a shit. I wouldn't give a shit. Because of how much I'm close with my brother. I'm not close with my grandma. But it's still with the fact that somebody did that to my family. Do you understand where I'm coming from?
Well, they asked what I think should happen to Mike or whomever did this, and in polite company I couldn't say, but
belt.
Back where I'm from, they'd be up from a tree.
Right. So that's more of a response that you would expect. But the issue I'm having is there's no emotion. You've expressed no sadness. We're not getting anything. Which leads me to believe you already knew this had occurred.
I didn't know that.
Look.
Even the officers with no context of the case can't help but assume Kane was involved in the murders, leaving him to sit in silence as he realizes how poorly this voluntary interview has gone. Agent Silva would return and continue pressing Kane for answers, eventually revealing that he had, in fact, been inside the house multiple times the week of the 3 victims' disappearance, and admitted to helping Cassandra travel to Mississippi with her kids, something she lied about earlier in the motel. Even worse for Kane is that, as the hours-long interview progressed, officers behind the scenes were already taking action. They were instructed to locate his uncle's stolen green Subaru, which they suspected Kane used to drive to Mississippi alongside Cassandra's own vehicle. After looking through surveillance footage and searching around the city, officers hit the jackpot and tracked down the missing car. Inside, they found latex gloves, .22 caliber ammunition, an empty Ruger pistol box, and most importantly, Kane's passport, tying him directly to the stolen vehicle. Now investigators have exactly what they've been missing: probable cause. And with that, Kane is no longer free to leave, and he's about to find out just how massively his attempt to clear himself and Cassandra backfired.
How's it going, bud? You mind there? All right. You mind standing up for me real quick?
Yes, sir.
Turn around, facing this wall.
Yes, sir.
Put your hands on the wall for me. All right. So what's going on, man, is you're going to be going out to the Soda County Sheriff's Office, all right? You're going out of our jail, all right?
Yes, sir.
All right, walk this way.
All right, guys.
Back at the Motel 8 in Mississippi, Cassandra
The
would
posing
patiently
is
wait for Kane to
pretty
return,
much-
give her a call, or just show any signs his interview was over. But as hours passed, it became clear that something had gone terribly wrong. Growing worried, Cassandra packed her bags and fled alongside her children, making yet another 1,000-mile drive back to New Mexico. Detectives keep tracking her phone signal until it finally stops at her parents' house. By this point, investigators have more than enough to justify Cassandra's arrest. But one critical question still remains. Was she directly involved in the murders? And if so, to what extent? Because of that uncertainty, officers make a deliberate decision. Rather than moving in aggressively, only 4 investigators go to the house, keeping the encounter calm and cooperative. Their goal is to interview Cassandra on the property and, if possible, apply enough pressure to turn her against Kane. If they can do this, they'll be able to pin both Kane and Cassandra against each other, forcing them to incriminate themselves.
This is Bryce Daly. He's with Lincoln County Sheriff's Office. He's a credit on team.
Perfect.
Okay? No. So there's not 100 of us today. There's just 3 of us.
Do you want me to start from the beginning from what I know? Or do you want to ask me all the questions first?
No, I'm going to let you tell your story. And just so that you know, you're not under arrest. You're free to leave whenever you want to leave. We came to you because we talked on the phone earlier through the text.
And what I told her is she needs to stop overthinking everything. You're trying to be a detective herself because she's seen all this stuff and she's trying to put pieces together and knows that he was lying to her about things. So just start at the beginning and tell it like you told us.
So I wanted to apologize to you because whenever I spoke to you the last time, I wasn't thinking straight.
Not only is Cassandra much more cooperative this time, but she quickly admits that she had been dishonest before and even apologizes. Her father's comment makes it seem like she's on the verge of throwing Kane under the bus, which is exactly what investigators are here for. So with the reassurance that she's not under arrest, Cassandra begins to share some much-needed details about how 3 of her relatives ended up mysteriously dead.
So I know on Thursday, we were driving up there and we had just went through Ruidoso, and he said that he wanted to stop by Bent right quick. So he said, okay, drop me off here, wait here, and I will let you know if I need anything. I've probably left him alone for like 45 minutes-ish.
Where does he go?
He's inside the house.
Okay.
And he says that he couldn't find anything.
Alright.
Don't know where
We got our
anybody's
post
at,
done, guys.
and that it's okay for me to come inside. And I go inside, and like I kept telling you, it smelled fucking weird in there. Almost like something had like died within the walls, like an animal or something. I was already concerned by the fact that he felt like something had happened. So I'm trying to rationalize through that, and he's just saying, I'll do it, and we're doing things legally, it's okay. And then he has me help him. He drives the car off somewhere and has me help him push it off into like this little ditch thing.
Base 44 super agents, the next thing you can't live without. No setup, just say hello. Every tool you already use, plugged in a click. And away it goes. Analyzing the competition and delivering a brief before you finished your morning coffee. Sit back while it understands your portfolio, builds and tracks dashboards, and finds your next big thing. Scaling your voice, turning your vision into the perfect post.
Do a quick face. Let's get this thing
All
done.
filling up your email, scheduling meetings, and reminding you of the important stuff. At night, it keeps on going, doing it all. So when you wake up, you're already one step ahead. Time to update what you think is possible. Base 44 Super Agents.
Okay.
Here for late night vibes. Here to help you manage your money and keep your budget tight. We're here for it all. Banking and investing all in one place. TD. Ready for you.
Oh, nope. Those eyes are too high.
And at one point, whenever I tried to say, hey, you guys, like, you need to call somebody, he said that the majority of the cops up there are crooked. I worked in the ER down here. I can see how you can think that sometimes, for sure. No offense.
Major offense taken.
So, like, oh yeah, no offense to you guys either.
Investigators are clearly not fond of Cassandra's strange remark, though by now it's becoming clear to detectives that Cassandra is putting Kane at the center of everything, while noticeably avoiding any direct mention of the murders, the cleanup, or the burned bodies. Instead, she frames everything vaguely, claiming Kane suspected something happened inside the house, but they didn't look too deeply into it, and that she was simply helping him deal with a property dispute. Investigators allow Cassandra to continue telling her story, but the more she talks, the more convoluted her version of events becomes. Then at this point, she even invites them inside, where the story only grows longer. After nearly 2 hours of listening, Agent Kyle Graham decides it's time to push back.
So now we're going to get into my portion, okay? I don't know, there's been probably a team of 15 of us on this case. So we know a lot of stuff, we know everything about that property. And some of the stuff that you're saying does make sense and does add up. However, some of the stuff that you're saying doesn't make sense to me and doesn't add up. And quite frankly, I don't think some of it happened. But I will tell you right now, I don't feel like Kane could have done everything that he did alone. And I think he included you into a whole mess of a situation. I don't believe that you killed anybody in this house or on that property. I strongly believe that. I don't think that you had any part of murdering people. But I do strongly believe that he fucked himself and he needed help, and you're a helpful person, and he put you in a shitty spot and said, help me. I need help cleaning this property, I need help cleaning all this blood up, and I need help getting these fucking bodies out of this house. But now's your chance. I'm giving you the opportunity, because I'm telling you right now, I have all that I need. The gig's up, the game's over. Okay? This is your opportunity and your chance to tell me, what did he make you do? What did he ask you to help him to do?
All I know of is that he wanted me to undo the headboards, the couch. But
You noticed no blood on that? Think about it before you answer that.
Not the side that I picked it up from, no. All I did was what he asked me to do.
But you understand, all you did what he asked you to do, it's too late. You already helped him. That's already a crime.
Which
it's too
I
late.
know that. And
So
that's the reason why I asked if I needed an attorney, because I tampered with evidence.
Correct. So.
And it wasn't until after the fact that I sat there and I thought about it, because he said that everything was found that way.
So the charge is already there. There's not going to be any more of. It's not going to get any worse, other than you just telling the truth of what happened.
Oh boy.
The charge is there. You already have a tampering with evidence charge on a first-degree murder. Okay. That's a second-degree felony.
Needless to say, this
Alright,
is
try and
not
feel this
what
face.
Cassandra is hoping to hear. In this moment, she realizes her days of freedom may be numbered if she continues twisting the facts to protect both herself and Kane. Cassandra knows something has to give, so after hearing what's awaiting her, she asks to step outside for a smoke, and this is where she finally gives detectives a small piece of the truth.
Like I said, I went out there. I went out to the store.
Alright, let's get his face done today.
He said I found them that way.
He said what?
That way?
So what did he tell you he found?
People on the floor.
How many people?
3.
And who are they?
Killian, Mary, and Victor. I signed up to take him to a job interview. I didn't sign up for him to do this.
Do you now believe that he did it?
I don't know what to believe. I just know that there was a mess, and then there was a lot of illegal shit. Lots of illegal shit.
What else did you help clean up inside the house? Besides the blood.
And the furniture, taking it out.
Yeah.
And I didn't see how bad the furniture was.
Did you help clean up anything else?
There's so many red flags going on right now of you saying that you walked into this house and Kane telling you, holy shit, I just walked into a house and all my family's dead. Let's get rid of them.
That
Do you
does
see
sound
how-
really stupid.
Doesn't it sound stupid that when you say it out loud? Because I guarantee you, I walk into a house with my family dead, shit's about to hit the fan because we got to figure out what the hell just happened. And I'm calling the cops.
I don't.
We're telling you, we've done our research. I've gotten 0 sleep in 5 days. We're not letting this go. This is a triple homicide.
And not letting it go is exactly what investigators are going to spend the rest of the day trying to do, hoping Cassandra will eventually crack and give them the full story. Unfortunately, though, this is the closest they will get to a real admission, as Cassandra begins to backpedal and returns to a revised version of events where she claims they found their family members already dead. They then simply decide to cover up the scene to avoid getting in trouble because Kane believed the police were corrupt. Detectives would spend until nightfall pressing Cassandra with no success, and she ultimately sticks to the same story. So before ending the interview and leaving, Agent Graham has one more rather strange question that's been on his mind all this time.
He had access to my phone. He knew my passwords. Like I said, I trusted him. He was supposed to be my brother.
Can I ask you a really weird question?
Sure.
No, never mind.
No, go for it.
Why'd you guys buy a brand new box of condoms?
No, that was a joke. It should be the skin on latex. And I had bought those in Chattanooga.
Is it him and hers?
And I threw them at Walter. Because I was tired of having kids and I was tired of being pregnant all the time.
But why would they be in the Bent house?
I don't know. Why would they be in the Bent house?
That's why I have a weird question.
Last time I knew about them, they were in the they were at my house.
Well, this was in the well house with all of the cleanup.
He told me that there was a possibility that Corinne wasn't his mother due to DNA results. And that there was a potential that he had feelings for me.
Kane?
Mm-hmm.
And that's not weird for you? Like, to be around him with your kids when you guys are pretty much brother and sister?
Like, it was weird, but he never acted on it.
I thought you guys were step-siblings, not half-siblings.
No, we're half-siblings.
Well, because we also found a pregnancy test.
Yep, I had a one-night stand at the Variety. And I didn't start my period on time. And I panic, and I overthink, and there should be 4 of them.
The detective's tone makes it clear they aren't convinced, suspecting Kane and Cassandra are hiding important details about their relationship. By now, though, what investigators came here to do is partially successful. Even though there's still no direct admission tying their suspects to the killings, Cassandra has implicated both herself and Kane in the cover-up. Because of this, Cassandra is officially detained and brought back to the police station. What exactly was said during Cassandra's arrest remains unknown, but the pressure appears to have completely broken her. In the hours that followed, she went on to further incriminate Kane, seemingly doing everything she could to distance herself from what happened, no matter the cost to him. A betrayal that would later come as a complete shock to Kane.
All I knew is that I had PTSD from the last time he saw cops. Because there was my blood all over the floor and my head through the wall, and I was trying to protect him from that. If he was really as innocent as he said he was, then there was going to be nothing to hide, right? Which is why I dropped him off at the jail.
I was pretty shocked that he showed up at the police department in Mississippi.
Because I told him if he was as innocent as he told me that he was, if he really found them the way they were, then that's all he had to tell you guys. And you would figure out the rest.
In the following days, Kane is brought into an interrogation room, this time in an orange jumpsuit, for what would be his final interview. Agent Graham is assigned to conduct the interview, the same investigator who previously spoke with Cassandra and secured her confession. By this stage, Graham knows the case inside and out, and he approaches the interview with a deliberate strategy, intent on extracting as much information as possible. And in this case, that's exactly what's needed, because now, more than ever, detectives need a confession. Right as the interrogation begins, Kane makes a desperate attempt to ensure Cassandra is keeping her story together. He seems to be completely unaware that Cassandra isn't protecting him anymore.
Do you happen to have a pen handy?
I do.
Do you have her number? Because I have it in my wallet at the jail, but they won't let me access it. And I need to make sure that she's okay because she mentioned wanting to go back down to New Mexico. And after doing it once, that's already a hard enough trip.
Well, I talked to her Sunday when she got back into Roswell.
I don't even know what the date is, man.
At this point, Kane still believed Cassandra was in Mississippi and hadn't spoken to officers since their first contact. Unfortunately, not only did Cassandra confess since then, but she did it in front of the very detective, sitting just feet away.
So, I talked to her on Sunday. I traveled to Roswell when she got in. I talked to her for probably, I don't know, more than 2, less than 4 hours, okay? And then on Monday, I traveled to Roswell again, and I talked to her again.
Okay.
For about, I don't know, 2 hours, okay? But I learned a lot from her, okay? And I'm hoping that I'm going to learn more from you. I don't want to call anybody a liar, but I think there's some inconsistencies with your statements. Because I want you to know that there's going to be a lot of questions that I ask you that I already know the answer to, but this is going to be a test for you to see if you're being truthful with me, okay? Because I know it's the truth, because I've been working this case since Wednesday the 22nd, okay?
After Agent Graham makes it obvious Kane is on his own now, the interview demeanor changes fast. He wastes no time bringing up Cassandra's confession and placing it directly against Kane, making it clear that detectives are no longer relying on his version of events alone.
Did you hurt anybody inside that house, including Victor, Killian, and Mary?
No, sir.
So...
PSA 10 Jordan. Subscriptions have dropped on bots.
Access to exclusive stuff on your profiles.
Oh my god, dude! That's the crazy crap! Luck Back Market is here. You can buy cards or you can buy keys and you can use those keys to open other boxes.
Create your own custom box that you and your friends want to take.
This box is hitting right now.
The way you see an idea in your mind and shape it into something that could only come from you. This is how website creation should be.
How does Victor, Killian, and Mary just mysteriously go missing?
I've been trying to find out the same.
You do understand, though, that we found all 3 of them, correct? I believe Special Agent Silva did tell you that.
He alluded to something that I was really hoping is not truthful.
So I'm not really one to beat around the bush, okay? I just call it like it is, okay? But Cassie's told me everything that's happened, okay? She told me the involvement. She told me what you guys did. That you walked into the house, you found all 3 of them dead. You guys picked up their bodies, you put them in the blue Subaru, you drove it up the hill, you guys both tipped it over. She's told me it all, okay? You guys used the little green dolly to pick them up and put them on the dolly, wheel them out to the car. You tied a rope around Killian's waist, hooked the rope up to your dad's hitch, and drove the car to pull him into the back seat. So the gig's up, Kane, okay? I told you I don't beat around the bush. I've worked over 100 hours in 1 week, okay? This is serious. So now, this is your opportunity and your chance to tell me your side of the story. Cassie's told me hers.
Okay.
Okay?
Okay.
As Kane sits in silence, the realization sets in. He's on his own now, and whatever story he had planned coming into this interrogation has now been flipped entirely on its head. But But Agent Graham presents the story strategically. By laying it out exactly as Cassandra described it, he gives Kane an opening to admit only to helping conceal the murders, while shifting responsibility for the actual killings onto someone else. If he can get this confession first, it'll be significantly easier to get Kane to confess to the killings later on.
Do you want to start back at the beginning? And I know the date that all this happened also.
I can tell you what happened. I can't tell you why. I don't know. I was trying to find out. I fucked up your crime scene, and I'm sorry for that.
Is everything that I just said, what Cassie told me, is that accurate?
To a degree.
And what isn't?
When we went to the house that day.
And it's just you and Cassie?
Yeah.
Not the kids?
No. There's a witness too.
And who is that?
The mailman. He can attest to this.
Like the postal man that drives and delivers the mail in the mailboxes?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. We had gotten there just before him. He went up. I told her to hang tight for a minute because that meant that everybody would be awake. And that was kind of looking hopeful. Killian was up and moving about. And I knocked on the door. I told him, hey, you just missed the postman. And he was real fidgety. He was scratching his head a lot. He was irritated. And I told him, hey, I got some good news. Everything's moving along with the mortgage company. We're looking to move in, and we ought to be all set by like the end of the month. Everything should be good. They got my status is pending. He closed the door, and I watched him take the mail off to the bedroom. And then he went back, and I shit you not, I heard like must have been 20 gunshots. I didn't even think to do the front door. I just ran around to the side, came through my door. And it wasn't closed all the way. I ran through the bedroom. My Uncle Vic was laying in his doorway with a gun in one hand. His other was like shaking, just kind of like floating there. And Killian was across from him. I don't know why. I don't know who shot. I don't know.
And we're booked. Using less points with my TD Aeroplan Visa Infinite card.
Everything's better when you save on a vacation.
More like a savecation.
I love that. Does this sunlight feel sunnier?
Totally. Whoa. Oh, yeah.
Everything is better on Savecation.
Savecations start with the TD Aeroplan Visa Infinite card. TD. Ready for you.
So I'm sorry, Kane, but I don't mean to be an ass, okay? But I know when you were going down this road that's where you were headed, okay? That one of them did all this. The evidence...
They both had guns.
Kane and Victor both had guns.
Killian,
sorry.
They both had fucking guns, and they told me there weren't any left in the house.
Where are they? You and Cassie were the only ones in there. So what'd you guys do with the guns? Do you see that I've been doing this for a long time, okay? I'm not dumb. This isn't my first homicide, okay?
Kane falls directly into Agent Graham's trap, confessing to concealing the bodies and giving a terribly thought-out lie about who committed the murders. But Graham doesn't stop there and begins pressing further, letting Kane know that nothing he can say at this point will dig him out of his grave.
I'm not gonna lie to you though, Kane. Like, this was a pretty tough one for us. This took a lot of time. This is the most that we've ever spent on a case, by the way. This is the farthest we've been to investigate one, too. And I mean, the whole wrapping the rope around Killian's waist and pulling him in with the other car, I mean, that was pretty creative. And I'm being serious. I'm not being a smartass. I don't know how I would have got him in the car either. I don't know how I would have got him on the wagon. That's 200 pounds dead weight. 280 pounds dead weight. That's a lot. I mean, you're not much bigger than me. I mean, think about how crazy that sounds, though.
No,
like you were cremating them, and you went up there on the 22nd and you burned them, right? After you and her put chain link over the top of the car with the little camouflage tarp thing and all the sticks and brush covering it.
I did try to offer them a cremation.
I mean, that was nice of you.
But I didn't hurt them.
Because the rest of the family didn't get to say their goodbyes.
There aren't enough of us left.
And I mean, I gotta give it to you too. Using the come-alongs and the steel pipe to prop it over to get it dumped over. Like, this is one of the most creative homicides that I've seen.
I didn't hurt anybody, sir. I would never hurt my family.
Oh, but Kane, that's what they all say. I don't buy that you didn't do it. I'm sorry. I can't. I think Cassie's full of shit on a lot of things, but I don't think she's full of shit on that. And I'm not so sure that she wasn't involved in it, to be honest with you.
She wasn't even there, sir.
Okay, well, I'm telling you right now, Cassie's in jail. That's why you can't get a hold of her.
Then I need an attorney.
Okay.
My next question is, are you going to sign a waiver of extradition to go back to Mexico, or do you want us to have to get a governor's warrant and you set up here in our jail for months?
Do you mean New Mexico?
Yeah.
Okay. What do you think, Detective?
I can't tell you, but I can serve you with this target notice, okay? These are the charges that are being filed against you. This is what we're going for grand jury, okay?
I can't accept that.
Well, it's not an option. These are the charges.
That's what's coming against me?
Yes, sir. These are your charges.
Clearly, Kane doesn't seem to understand the law, and he'll be fighting the charges regardless of whether he accepts them or not. On paper, Kane is charged with an array of crimes, including arson, aggravated burglary, and 3 counts of first-degree murder. Additionally, Cassandra would be officially charged following the interrogation, also getting 3 counts of first-degree murder, conspiracy to commit murder, and tampering with evidence. In the weeks that follow, detectives and prosecutors begin assembling the full picture. The blood patterns inside the house, the cleanup supplies, the burned Subaru, the shell casings, the clothing, the phone records, and Cassandra's own statements describing the disposal of the bodies. And after countless sleepless nights, investigators believe they have finally pieced together what happened. Victor, Mary, and Killian were killed near the south bedroom and kitchen before being moved through the house. Their bodies were then loaded into Victor's blue Subaru, which Kane allegedly drove into the canyon, pushed over a ditch, and set on fire. Kane's shifting stories and control of the green Subaru point investigators towards him as the primary actor, while Cassandra's admissions place her squarely in the cleanup and cover-up. Detectives see Kane returning from Canada as the start of a growing grievance over what he believes is rightfully his. 22 acres of family land. They allege that a dispute over the property motivated Kane and that he drew Cassandra into a plan to cover up the deaths and claim control of the land. For now, both remain presumed innocent unless and until they are proven guilty in court. If convicted, they could each face multiple life sentences under New Mexico law with decades behind bars before any possibility of parole. As for Mike, Lourdes, and the other relatives, they can rest safely for now, praying that those responsible never see the light of day again.
It doesn't look like anyone's been here. What's that smell?
This officer is, unknowingly, reacting to the decomposition odor coming from Craig Thetford's hidden body. Police have been searching for him for months with no success, and even now, with the foul odor in the air, they still have no idea he's buried only feet away.
Is that dirt or is that blood?
This is the only way I've been able to have any communication with you, and I don't even know if it's him.
I wouldn't even know where to start looking.
There's some weird going on.
Whoever killed Craig covered their tracks meticulously, using chemicals to mask the odor, disabling security cameras, and hiding in plain sight. And while detectives spend months trying to figure out where Craig went, the suspected killer quietly continues spending Craig's money, allegedly buying houses, cars, and crafting a plan to ensure they are never found.
Holy smokes.
Well, I want to say something else, but I don't want to implicate her.
You need to say it.
You might start looking in the Caribbean.
Police department! Sheriff's office, snatch your soul!
It's a late May evening in Cloudcroft, New Mexico. Tucked among wooded acreage and mountain terrain sits a 2,000 square foot property owned by 60-year-old Craig Thetford. He lives inside this large 3-story house with his wife Dina. The Thetfords enjoy a comfortable lifestyle thanks to Craig's roofing business. They own multiple residential properties and frequently take luxury vacations. But a few months ago, something dark took place inside the Thetford
We're
household,
almost
and it
done
went
on
unnoticed
rough.
for
We
weeks
got a rough closed
until
out.
May 2025.
I think on the next stream we'll come back to clean it up. I might clean it off stream and just fix all that stuff there, but so far we got a rough done, which I'm liking.
Have a wellness check done on an individual.
That would be me.
So,
What's going on?
His name is Craig Thetford.
duplicate that later.
Everybody here in Texas has been trying to get a hold of Craig for nearly 2 months.
I'll be
We
back
can't get a
up.
hold of his wife. We're really concerned about him because this is not like him. He always answers his phone or calls back. Even his family here hasn't been able to get a hold of him. Nobody can get a hold of him.
On the line is Larry Scott, requesting a welfare check on his friend.
Okay.
But something about this call is different. As Larry explains, nobody has seen Craig or his wife for months. A detail that's highly unusual since most missing person reports come within days. Following this, officers are dispatched to the address to conduct a welfare check on the Thetford couple. Once they pull up to the long driveway and step out into the mountain air, they can sense something is off about this place.
The way you see an idea in your mind,
Alright.
the way you describe it to a friend. This is how website creation should be. Expression.
I'm just gonna clean up these layers. Our rough is pretty much done. We got it nicely posed.
Something that could only
I'm gonna skip this. We got it nicely posed and everything, so that should help.
Sheriff's office.
Can you see anything through the windows?
Yeah, I got a pretty good look through the windows. Doesn't look like there's anyone in there.
As officers walk around the residence, they notice the sheer size of the property with
Alright, let's
multiple
keep going.
carports and outbuildings.
We're
Lights
pretty much
are on
close
throughout
to
the home itself, but
finishing up here.
strangely, no one answers the door. Looking through the windows, one officer notices several boxes stacked, suggesting that the couple might be in the process of moving or had already left. As another officer circles towards the carport, he hesitates. There's something odd about the air around him.
We got a pretty decent security camera on the back.
Doesn't look like anyone's been here. What's that smell?
Coming from the carport, a faint, strange odor drifts through the space. But up in the mountains, with wildlife and wooded terrain, unusual smells aren't uncommon, so the officer brushes it off and moves on. With the home appearing vacant and no immediate
Make the head
signs
just
of
a
foul
little bit
play,
bigger.
cops call it off and leave with the impression that the Thetford couple likely moved out and simply forgot to inform their friend Larry. Unknowingly, officers are walking away from the first signs that something far more sinister is at play. The next day, things begin to shift into something more serious as police receive a second call about Craig. However, this one carries more concerning details than the last.
Telecommunications on a recorded line. How can I help you?
Okay, this is gonna seem really, really strange. About 4 months ago, my grandpa had went off the face of the world, and he's a volunteer firefighter up there. He loved to do it. He talked to me about it all the time. And so I'd like to place a wellness check, but the only person that said she's talked to him in 4 months is his wife, and apparently now they're getting a divorce. He's doing a whole bunch of stuff, but
Okay.
I don't believe it. It's not my grandpa. It's just really strange.
What's his name?
Craig Thetford.
And what's your name?
My name is Cody Gibson, and I'm his grandson. His wife is supposedly in Texas getting a divorce.
With yet another welfare check request from Craig's grandson Cody, a clearer timeline begins to form. It now sounds like Craig hasn't been missing for 2 months as previously believed by his friend. Instead, he hasn't been seen for over 4 months, which is even more alarming. Additionally, the reason no formal missing person report was filed starts to make sense, as Cody goes on to explain that his grandfather's wife, Dina Thetford, has been telling everyone that Craig is in Mexico with another woman after filing for divorce. A story that doesn't sit right with Craig's grandson. Following this second call, Otero County Sheriff's deputies are dispatched back to Craig's house. This time, instead of simply knocking and leaving, they widen the scope. If Craig and his wife aren't inside the house, maybe someone nearby has seen or heard something. So deputies begin canvassing the surrounding properties. A decision that will quietly kickstart an investigation into what may become one of the most elaborate and twisted homicide cover-ups they've ever handled.
Deputy Ventura with the Sheriff's Office. By chance, have you seen your neighbors over?
No, sir, I hadn't. I've been really worried about him.
Okay.
Since January. And we were real good friends and everything.
Okay.
And we were both on the James County Fire Department.
Mm-hmm.
And then come January, there was just no contact.
No contact at all. Come January.
I got him. I was on the James County Fire Department there for about 5.5 years.
Mm-hmm.
And when he moved up here, I talked him into it.
Okay.
And I mean, we were real good friends and everything.
Yeah.
And then Josh over here, we got him on the fire department. Josh and Heidi here would know more information about them because
okay.
I know.
Do you know what the address is over there?
It's just that A-frame right there.
This one right here.
Yeah, this one right here.
Hmm.
Kayak told me hotel prices just dropped. Now we can finally stop scrolling for travel hacks.
Okay.
Hey, free phones.
Yes, ma'am. How are you? I'm Deputy Pintor with the Turner County Sheriff's Office.
Yeah.
We were looking for Craig Setford.
Yeah, we haven't heard from Craig.
Okay.
We're buying the house from him. He was in Breckenridge taking care of his mom.
Okay.
His wife Dina is my friend. She's in and out from the house down there.
Okay.
But she hasn't really talked to him either, which is weird.
Have you talked to Dina lately?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And have you asked her anything about like Craig, how he's doing or anything like that?
From what she's telling me, she's not talking to him either.
She's not, oh, okay.
Yeah.
So are they like not together right now?
I think they're splitting up.
Gotcha. Okay.
I'm
Okay.
sure that's what's happening.
And when was the last time you saw Dina here in the area?
It's probably been about 3 weeks now.
About 3 weeks.
Yeah.
As far as Heidi knows, Craig and Dina are in the middle of separating, with Craig supposedly staying at his mother's house in Texas. That explanation doesn't match what Dina told Craig's grandson Cody, who was under the impression that his grandfather went to Mexico after filing for divorce. To investigate further, the deputy
Oh, sorry, I'm
asks
just seeing your
Heidi for
message
Dina's phone
now.
number and tries calling her. But worryingly, it
Well,
goes
someone
straight to
thought you were
voicemail.
drawing.
With no immediate leads, officers return to the station. Before Deputy Pinter can relay his findings to
What?
detectives,
That's
his
crazy.
phone starts ringing. Interestingly, the caller is one of the Thetfords.
Hello?
Hi, I missed a phone call.
Yes, ma'am. How are you? This is Deputy Pintor calling from the Otero County Sheriff's Office. I was calling in reference to your husband, Craig. It seems that he hasn't been in contact with a lot of his family and some of his friends.
Right, yeah. We have been separated, and I recently filed for divorce. He's involved with someone else, and currently he's in Mexico.
And when was the last time you saw him or spoke to him?
Before he left.
Would you have an estimate?
That
like,
is crazy.
Was it like 1 week, 2 weeks?
First of the month?
First of the month. And you saw him in person, correct?
Yes,
Okay.
he was packing, yes.
Where was this at? Was this at your residence on Heatherway?
Yes, he has moved out.
And where are you currently staying at?
I'm at my mom's in Texas, Seymour, Texas.
Yeah. Well, I guess let me ask you, are you going to permanently be staying at Seymour, Texas? No? Okay.
Until I see what happens in the divorce, I'm going to ask for the property.
Okay.
I mean, I don't think he's missing.
On the line is Dina Thetford, clarifying that her husband is actually in Mexico with another woman. The same story she told Craig's grandson, but different from what her neighbor reported. Naturally, this drastically complicates the investigation, as locating a missing person in another country is exponentially more difficult. But during the phone call, Dina also goes on to explain that she suspected Craig of cheating on her for nearly a year before confirming the affair a couple of months earlier. Now she's staying with her mother in Texas, but plans to return to New Mexico and fight Craig in court to keep the property for herself. The deputy confirms Dina's current phone number before ending the call. Aside from the inconsistent story about Craig's whereabouts, police have no reason to believe Dina is hiding anything. But that is about to change.
You know, I tried to warn Craig. She did state if I could kill Craig and get away with it, I'd do it.
My mom's crazy. Like, she's tried to kill me before.
In the days that follow, Craig Thetford is officially entered into the FBI database as a missing person, and the case is assigned to Detective Bobby Curtis with the district's Major Crimes Unit. As Curtis begins digging into the couple's background, one detail immediately stands out. Craig is Dina's fourth husband. She had already been married 3 times before, and those relationships seemingly ended under troubling circumstances. So Curtis decides to call the people who might know Dina best: her ex-husbands. And what she's about to hear may not just explain where Craig is, but also what really happened to him.
I got a voicemail from you about an hour ago, I guess.
I was calling to see if you had a minute to talk to me about Dina.
I was married to her 30 years ago. I called her demon-possessed one time and about drove her crazy.
I was told there was possibly a time when she had tried to run you over with her car.
I would probably say that's more her drug-addicted or alcohol-addicted state that she gets that way. And that's the best time to leave her alone is when she's that way. I think that's how we both survived for 10 years. Hello?
Hi, is this Scotty?
Yes.
Hi, it's Detective Curtis. First, let's go ahead and start with why did you guys end up getting a divorce?
Because she's crazy. She is what they classify as a binge-drinking alcoholic. Whiskey turns her evil. Yeah, she assaulted me multiple times, broke 2 pair of glasses, balled up her fists and hit me. Twice she tried to kill me. You know, I was always afraid something like this was going to happen because I knew she was capable. And then, you know, when I saw that Craig was missing, I immediately called. You know, I tried to warn Craig multiple times, and she did state in front of me and my wife, if I could kill Craig and get away with it, I'd do it.
That final remark from Scott is disturbing and certainly doesn't bode well for the situation. Following these statements from Dina's ex-husbands, Detective Curtis decides to dig further into Scott's claims. Turns out, Dina worked as a correctional officer for nearly 8 years in the early 2000s. Then, in 2008, according to Scott, Dina was arrested for allegedly trying to stab him while intoxicated, an incident that reportedly landed her in jail overnight. After that, the couple briefly reconciled, but in 2010, Scott also alleged that Dina found his pistol and chased him while pulling the trigger, though the gun was not loaded and he survived. As Curtis continues reviewing the reports, she notices that at various points over the years, Dina's daughter Leslie had lived with her and Craig. So one of Curtis's co-investigators reaches out to Leslie to gain insights into what was happening inside that house. When he finally gets her on the phone, she shares some startling information about her mother.
How are you this morning?
Good as it can be. How are you?
I'm good. So, whenever you were living at the house, Leslie, was there domestic violence going on in the house? Did your mom and dad fight?
Yeah, all the time. My mom is crazy. My mom is so crazy. Like, she's tried to kill me before. She stabbed one of her other husbands. She tried to run my real dad over with a car. She had my sister hogtied and thrown in a car and, like, shipped off one time.
So, was your mom to you?
Yep, to everyone, pretty much. I always thought she was, like, possessed, like, demonic. Like, it was so evil that, like, I just couldn't believe, like, it was real.
Okay. At the time that you were there at the house, did your mom and dad drink or use drugs? Either one of them?
Yeah, she's an alcoholic. She's always been. She also does other drugs, and I think she might have poisoned him or been trying to poison him or something, like messing with his medication or something.
Needless to say, things are starting to sound grim. There are now 2 separate people alleging that Craig may be dead and that Dina could somehow be involved. With this troubling development in mind, Detective Curtis moves on to review the couple's recent financial activity, and this is where things become very peculiar. In the last 4 months, Dina appears to have spent hundreds of thousands of dollars, including a new house and a new car, while also potentially helping fund her son's new business. With all these findings combined and Dina's shifting story, investigators begin to suspect they may be dealing with something far more serious than a missing person case, and the possibility of a concealed homicide now sits squarely on the table. But in the middle of trying to piece together what really happened to Craig, detectives receive a tip that his wife Dina has returned home and is acting as if nothing ever happened.
Somebody's home?
Following this, Deputy Roger Schoolcraft is sent to check if Dina returned home and can provide any answers. In a few seconds, he will come face to face with the one person investigators now believe may be their prime suspect. But before we get to that, if you're like me, you probably want to save money and have your money actually work for you, without overcomplicating things or constantly thinking about it. That's where our video's sponsor, Chime, comes in. Chime is the most loved banking app that makes saving simple, especially with their high-yield savings account. The national average savings rate is 0.39% APY, which is basically nothing. But with Chime's high-yield savings account, you earn up to 3%, about 7 times the national average. To put that into perspective, if you had $5,000 in a regular savings account, you'd earn about $20 in a year. But with Chime's savings account, that's closer to $150 in a year. Real money that can actually go towards something you want. Chime also makes saving easy to automate. You can send part of your paycheck straight to your savings, or you can turn on roundups so spare change from everyday purchases goes straight into your account without you having to think about it. There are no monthly fees or minimum balance requirements, so more of your money stays yours. And unlike some savings accounts, your money isn't locked up. You can access it anytime. Right now,
sorry, I know I'm just going back and forth, only fixing the pros and just fixing things.
$350 when you open a new Chime account
So
through
sorry for
my
taking
link,
so long.
chime.com/insanity.
But that's part of the
or
rough
just click
drawing
the
and
link in the
posing.
description below, or scan the QR code
I'm just
on
fixing it as I
screen.
go along.
With that said, let's get back to Deputy Roger, who's on the verge of hearing a story that may explain why Craig truly vanished.
We make the head just a little bit bigger.
Hi, good morning. Dina?
Yes.
Hi. Good morning, good morning.
Is that her? She looks like a normal old lady.
Hey, I'm doing some I'm Roger. I'm sorry. Roger Schoolcraft.
Nice.
Dina?
Yes, I think we met at a football game.
Probably did. I'm trying to do some follow-up on Craig. And I thought maybe I could meet with you. Maybe you could try to kind of help me, give me some information. And where, can we sit somewhere? Or? All right. Kind of chilly.
I know.
Okay, well, obviously we got some calls because people haven't been hearing from her or anything. So you being the wife, you might be able to help me.
Right, it's his mom. I talked to his mom.
Oh, really? Crazy. So you guys aren't?
No, we have been having some issues.
Okay.
I guess you would say we're separated.
How long's that been going on?
Nothing's legal yet. We just haven't been spending any time together since at least February.
February. Early February, late February?
Late February, or mid-February.
Since mid-February. Things weren't working out, so you left, he left, how did that?
He left. He told me, well, he first went to Texas because he said he needed to go help his mom.
So he left here to go help his mom?
That was what he said, yes. I've never really had any reason not believe what he said.
And that was like the second week of February?
You'll have to bear with me because I don't keep track of time.
Even though Dina doesn't keep track of time, she does seem to keep track of other things, like the details surrounding Craig's disappearance.
Here for late night vibes. Here to help you manage
Alright,
your
we're
money
almost done our route. I think I like this posing. We're gonna go back in there for the next stream and clean it up. But just for now, let's add a little splash color to it, just to get a sense of what we're dealing with.
Ready for you.
But I'm liking this so far.
Base 44 super agents. The next thing you can't live without. No setup. Just say hello. Every tool you already use, plugged in a click. And away it goes. Analyzing the competition. And delivering a brief before you finished your morning coffee. Sit back while it understands your portfolio. Builds and tracks dashboards and finds your next big thing. Scaling your voice. Turning your vision into the perfect post. The perfect timing. And every bit of data into a decision. All while clearing up your email, scheduling meetings, and reminding you of the important stuff. At night, it keeps on going, doing it all. So when you wake up, you're already one step ahead. Time to update what you think is possible.
Okay, I like that so far. We're going to save right here, and we're going to go on from there.
Within just a few minutes of their conversation, Deputy Roger notices that Dina slightly adjusts her explanation about Craig's whereabouts, now claiming that he simply told her what he was doing, and she had no reason not to believe him. But as the pair continue rehashing the details, Dina begins to visibly sense that Deputy Roger isn't convinced. She appears to have no idea of the amount of suspicion that's been mounting against her. In reality, Dina is well prepared for this moment because she's about to present what she believes is concrete proof to validate her story and put an end to the growing suspicion around her.
I've never had a reason to doubt it, but now I do. I mean, I think that he has hooked up with some youngsters that are doing these classes, and I think he's reliving his youth, and he's ready for me to get out of the picture.
But where would he be doing that at?
Mexico, I guess. Mexico. But when I would come home, I mean, he's been here. It got to the point where he would just leave me a note, like that one over there. Now there's been several. This is our communication right here for the last 2 months.
Okay.
And there's been several, but this is now this one is from not like 2 weeks ago.
Okay, and you please, this is your handwriting and that's his?
Yes, because his family's been calling me, where is he? You know, and I'm like, I know as much as you do.
Where's El Salto?
Mexico.
And he has friends in El Salto, or he went?
El Salto is a trophy bass fisher.
Oh, okay, yeah. I'm a big bass fisherman too.
I think this would make like the 3rd time he's been there.
Even if Deputy Roger tried, he couldn't sound fully convinced that Craig actually wrote this message. But he takes the bait anyway, or at least allows Dina to believe her plan is unfolding exactly as she intended. Conveniently, Dina quickly moves on to the next step in her plan. There's something downstairs that might help clear things up, and she's willing to share it off the record.
Can I say something off the record?
Sure.
Craig keeps all our money in cash. I can't get in the safe, so I can't tell you if he took it or if it's there.
All the money?
Mm-hmm.
Why can't you get into the safe?
I don't have the combinations.
Was that an issue between the two of you? They wouldn't let you have access to the safe?
It wasn't an issue with us, but it was an issue with his first wife.
Well, she was stealing money from him or what? Okay, I understand now. And how much?
1.5 million.
Could you show me where that safe is?
Yes.
Okay.
That's a substantial amount of money by anyone's standards, and Deputy Roger is beginning to suspect he may already know why Craig suddenly vanished. Even though Dina claims she can't access the safe, Roger will soon discover that this, too, might not be true. But since Dina brought up the money unprompted, Roger recognizes an opportunity to dig deeper and decides to take it.
I'm sorry. I've got a bad knee.
Is there a good reference for the colors sample of?
No, it's good. No, just getting old.
Oh yeah, she has her arm tattoo. How can I forget that?
Holy smokes. Big house.
Yeah, it is.
Too big for 2 people.
It's way too big.
This is the bottom floor here? Or?
Yes.
Okay. I'm sorry. Oh, that's cool.
Right?
Huh. Yeah, good Lord. That cost a penny.
Yeah, that was my present, and now I don't know if I get to keep it.
Yeah.
This one and this one.
Oh, there's 2 of them.
Yeah.
So you don't have the combination for either safe?
No. Oops. No, I just...
You didn't keep it written down anywhere, or you don't know? Okay.
As Roger checks the safe, he has no idea that he is standing in the very spot where Craig's body remained for days, before it was eventually moved and hidden. None of that is apparent in this moment, so the two head back upstairs after taking a quick look. By this point, Roger feels he's heard what he came for and then some. But before leaving, he decides to share a small surprise he's been holding back.
Have you been married before too?
Oh or?
Gosh,
yes.
Okay. Oh gosh, yes.
Yes.
Why do you say that?
Well, because it seemed to be a regular occurrence.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No, it's. I make it a joke. Yeah, I mean, I just, it took me a long time to figure out I'm the common denominator.
Mm-hmm.
So.
How many times were you married?
He is my fourth.
Your fourth, okay.
Yes.
I don't know, just a little history of me. I'm actually a retired police officer. Came back to work about 2 years ago. I got bored sitting at home. But the vast majority of my career, I worked in investigation, CID, homicide unit in Albuquerque. So that's most of my
That's just a
career
rough
has been
tattoo
doing
design.
that.
We'll go and
Deputy
get some
Roger
big
leaves
details
little
later.
room for doubt, subtly making it clear that he is, in fact, investigating a possible homicide. Even though Dina tries to appear nonchalant, her face tells a different story. She looks visibly taken aback by the idea that a homicide detective is now sitting in her living room, and the timing of Roger's reveal couldn't have been more deliberate, coming right after Dina seemingly acknowledged that she's the common denominator in her previous failed marriages. With the surprise revealed, Roger wraps up the conversation and heads out, leaving Dina with a clear implication that she may now be a prime suspect in the possible homicide of her husband, a thought that will soon begin to consume her. At the same time, Roger walks away with something else he believes he identified during the hour-long interview, a possible financial motive behind Craig's disappearance, as well as an even stronger suspicion that he may have just been speaking with the alleged killer herself. Before heading back to the station to relay his findings, Roger's relentless instincts get the best of him. With more than 2 decades of experience and having handled a case with eerily similar circumstances that later turned into a homicide, he can't shake the feeling that something isn't right. So instead of leaving right away, he decides to stick around the neighborhood and speak with people who live nearby. A move that will not only fuel Roger's growing suspicions, but also reveal some new details police hadn't fully heard before.
How are you doing?
Hey, you. Roger Schoolcraft, have we met?
Yeah, I was at school. You want to go here? We can come up
Will
here.
a dog bite me?
No.
Oh,
There,
okay.
there.
Just a good barker. What, do you know anything on the last time you saw him or talked to him?
No, it's been a while, and there's some weird things going on.
Yeah, for sure.
And I don't want to. I'm not trying to implicate anybody. From what it sounds like in the past, whenever those two get when I say those two, Craig and Dina, they get together, and you mix in a little bit of alcohol, things get a little bit flammable, or can be.
And Craig said, if anything ever happens to me out on one of these calls, Dina has a combination to the safe, and I keep an envelope full of money in it. And this is the only way I've been able to have any communication with him, and I don't even know if it's him.
Wonder who he supposedly went fishing to Mexico with. See, we had a call like this a long time ago. Long story short, turned into a murder. But she was staying in the house 3 weeks after she'd murdered him, and she drug him out in the back porch and covered him up with a tarp. Kind of rings the same deal. Same story, all he went on a fishing trip. Well, he kept not showing up for work, and people were calling.
So he's really nowhere to be seen.
No, ma'am, he's nowhere to be
I
found.
think everything
anywhere.
we've been told and heard is. Because I wasn't sure how.
And I want to say something else, but I don't want to implicate her.
You need to say it.
When we first moved here, we were just having conversations, and she was like, and she didn't say she'd kill him, but she was like, if it happened, I'd be okay with it, kind of to that effect.
Mm-hmm.
By now, the pattern is becoming impossible to ignore, and it seems like everyone familiar with the couple is thinking the same thing. They're just hesitant to say it out loud. Notably, Craig's firefighter friend Thomas also reveals that Craig told him Dina has the combination to the safe, directly contradicting Dina's claims earlier when she claimed she had no way of accessing the money inside the safe. Roger records these statements and eventually heads back to the station to speak with the lead detective Curtis to determine their next steps. Even though investigators are now strongly considering the possibility of homicide, they still lack physical evidence of foul play, or Craig's body, at least for the time being.
Popeye Supplements presents Customer Appreciation Days. From April 9th to 13th, buy one, get one 40% off almost everything in store. Mix and match to get one for 40% off. Plus 21 door crasher deals. This is your sign to stock up harder than your gym buddy hoarding chicken breasts during a protein panic. It's Customer Appreciation Days at Popeye Supplements. Caution, side effects may include uncontrollable flexing in the mirror. So sprint, stroll, or crab walk your way to Popeye Supplements. Let's make gains together.
As a business leader, you know family matters to your employees, even the four-legged kind. When companies offer pet insurance, HR professionals report that 84% of employees feel better about their jobs. That's because healthier pets make for happier employees. New to Canada, One Pack Plan helps make it easy to offer pet insurance as an employee benefit. Flat group rates, seamless payroll integration, and coverage for pre-existing conditions. Look after who they love, and they'll love working for you. Let's talk. Visit onepackplan.ca today.
5 days after his initial visit, Deputy Roger returns to the Thetford's house to follow up with Dina. They still haven't been able to reach Craig, and the situation is looking increasingly grim. But this time, something
Alright,
different
we're just
awaits
adding some
Roger.
colors
As
slash
he
details.
arrives and steps out of his car,
We'll keep this
he
going.
notices something unsettling on the ground.
Uh-oh.
Let's keep this going.
Good morning. How are you?
Good, how are you?
Good, good.
I was about to make some coffee.
I'll take some coffee. What are you putting in the ground?
I'm not putting it in the ground. I was trying to flatten it. I'm going to roll those rocks back in there.
Oh, I saw that metal thing. I thought maybe it was some kind of a holding thing.
It's an above ground gardening.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Roger treats the discovery lightly, even joking about the massive hole Dina dug outside. But he'll soon find out that he's been, unknowingly, walking right over the truth this whole time.
Was he close to? Was he close to any of the females at all?
He's nice to everybody. I mean, everybody adores him.
Yeah.
You know, we were going to church and everybody just loves him, and the neighbors, he would do anything for anybody.
So none of these neighbors had a gripe with him or an issue with him. It's just so unusual for somebody just completely pop off the radar. Just poof, they're gone. Well, it's a mystery. I just keep thinking he's maybe got an enemy that we're not aware of, or somebody that felt like they had something to gain.
I think, you know, if I had just left when he told me to, then none of this would have happened.
With this statement coming directly from Dina, she has effectively pointed the finger at herself. Whether she realizes it or not remains to be seen. With the remainder of the conversation yielding no new leads, Roger wraps up his second visit and heads out, still empty-handed. But as he leaves the property, Roger has no idea that this might be the last time he ever sees Dina alive.
What? What do you mean?
In the following weeks, things begin to escalate dramatically as
What does that
Dina
mean?
appears to have vanished. Any phone calls from detectives went straight to voicemail, and police were unable to locate her. Investigators also caught wind of rumors alleging Dina was talking about fleeing to Jamaica or taking her own life. However, there's a huge development that's about to happen today. Because sometime in the afternoon, an old co-worker of Dina from her prison job calls lead detective Curtis with an explosive tip.
Hello?
Hi, is this Andrew?
Yes, ma'am.
This is Detective Curtis with the Otero County Sheriff's Office. I had a message that you had called.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, what can I help you with, sir?
I recently got in touch with an old friend of mine. She was married to that dude, and apparently she said she shot him. I have a conscience, and I couldn't just not say nothing.
Can you tell me her name?
This is his wife, Dina.
Did she tell you when?
No, ma'am. I don't know none of the particulars.
What everyone has been anticipating this entire time has finally come to fruition. Seemingly straight from Dina herself, according to her old friend Andrew. However, without a body or hard evidence, Detective Curtis can't obtain an arrest warrant or press any charges. But not long after this call, another development takes place. This time, police catch wind that Dina was at her mother's house in Texas and attempted to take her own life. Detective Curtis realizes how quickly and dangerously the situation is escalating. If Dina manages to flee, or worse yet, takes life, they may never find Craig's body, and the case is doomed to go cold. With that possibility looming over the case, Curtis decides to act fast. She obtains a search warrant for Craig's house and begins coordinating with the Major Crimes Unit to execute the search, find Dina, and, more importantly, uncover Craig's body. As coordination is underway, Curtis sends a group of detectives and heads out to Dina's mother's residence. She needs to figure out why Dina is trying to harm herself.
So watch this if they get stuck in here.
Hi, Mary. I'm Detective Curtis with the Sheriff's Office in New Mexico. Is it okay if I come in? Sure. I understand that these guys updated you on why we're all here. Yes. Okay. We're hoping that maybe we could talk to you a little bit about everything that's going on, if that's all right.
Dina tried to take her.
Did Dina tell you why she wanted to take her?
No.
No? Did she have a method she was planning on using?
I don't know.
She didn't say that.
I knew she was real depressed. But I didn't expect any of this.
About how long has she been back here?
She started coming back off and on. I think it was maybe, I'm not sure.
Dina's mother is visibly shaken by the thought of her daughter harming herself, but she can't explain why Dina would take such drastic action. Detective Curtis wraps up the interview and gathers possible addresses for Dina's acquaintances, hotels, and hospitals where she might be. They need to find her before she can do something irreversible. Hours later, back in New Mexico, the Major Crimes Unit is briefed and the coordination is in full effect. Detective Curtis and Deputy Roger, along with a group of officers, make their way to the Thetford property, hoping to find at least one of the two alive.
Alright. This is where we're going to end for now, guys. I do have to get going, unfortunately. I wish I had more time to finish this. But yeah, this is a rough sketch for Kitt from Pokémon Champions. So this is what I was able to get done in the time being. Also, going to come back and clean it up and fix things. But yeah, this is it for now. Alright, so I'll see you guys on the next stream. I am Giovanni Hall Art, and I like to draw and play video games. And today we're doing some Pokemon Champion fan art, drawing Kitt. And if you'd like to see more, feel free to follow me on Instagram, Tumblr, TikTok, Twitch, YouTube, and Patreon for more exclusive stuff. Links are in the bios. Alright, see you guys on the next one. Have a good one. Bye.